Okay. So for those who don't know me, I'm Lilia Boeri. And yes, I'll just give you a short introduction to the scientific program of the workshop. Before I would do that, I really would like to thank all the people who are here. I know it's not easy to travel in this period, and we really appreciate all the people who made it, and we also appreciate all the people who are following us by Zoom. So we hope that we will have some nice discussion in the following days. So Johnny has already shown you the program. So we start now with this opening remarks, and we end on Friday at lunch. So on Friday lunchtime, we are free, more or less. And so we have two dinner events. On the 27th, we have this poster session with wine and cheese, which means it can go a bit long. And then we have our social dinner on Thursday. And instead tonight is free, so you can just go around L'Aquila. So as Gianni has already read, so this is taken from the abstract of our proposal. We submitted the first proposal in 2019. We wanted to have the conference in 2020. We had all the programs set up, and then we couldn't do the conference. Then we tried to reschedule to 2021. We couldn't do it, and then we decided this year we are doing this. And in the meantime, of course, there has been a lot of progress in this field, I would say. So what had started as mainly a conference about superhydrides or about hydrides at high pressure, I think is now evolving more towards the question of how we can design new superconductors, not necessarily hydrides, but how can we really obtain new superconductors that operate at ambient conditions in general. And so here you see the basic topics of the conference. I use this color because I just wanted to give you a little bit an overview of how we divided the talks among the days. So there will be quite a few talks about theoretical design, let's say, of new superconducting hydrides, or in general theory of new superconducting hydrides. There is also a very rich experimental session on experimental development on superconducting hydrides. And then I think there is quite some part on what I call other materials and methods. So we have a few talks about people who are trying to optimize superconductivity, not necessarily conventional. So we have also, I will read the abstract later, but we have also materials which do not necessarily operate within the conventional mechanism. And then what I think is really interesting, we also, when we planned this conference, it was a bit in our mind that probably at some stage, our current methods would not be enough and we would need to resort to artificial intelligence. And this is also something which has made quite a bit of progress since we submitted the proposal. So here, this is just the program. So you see the first day is all orange in the sense that this is all devoted to hydrides, or actually, you see there is Lorenzo Monacelli and Carlo Pierleoni, who we hope will be fine. So because he told us he is not feeling well since yesterday. And they will talk about hydrogen. All the other talks, starting with Chris Pick-Packard, Yang Min Ma, and Defuang Duan, will tell us about theoretical design of high-pressure superconductors. And in the afternoon, there are three other talks by Simone Di Capaldo, Christoph Ive, and Eva Zurek on ternary superhydrides. Something which is not written here, at 6, we will have, so the people who are presenting their posters tomorrow, today, they have 5 minutes each, so that 2 or 3 slides each to present their posters so that people know what you will show later. Somebody is collecting the poster presentations. Who is it? We don't know. So there is some student from L'Aquila who will come around and collect the poster presentation. So this is the program for today. Second day is tomorrow. So we start with Matteo Galandra, who is here, and Jianting Ye, who will talk about 2D materials. 2D materials is something we thought about because they are so flexible that this is also probably a very nice playground to realize superconductivity, to tune superconductivity. And in particular, Matteo and Jianting will tell us actually how to make a material superconducting using field effect or ionic gating. Then we have this big experimental session. So you probably recognize the name. There will be Michael Eremets, Rasemley, Rangadias, Tozer will tell us about hot superconductivity. And then we thought that, I mean, this field is also a bit controversial. So we wanted to have somebody to challenge, let's say, this view. And we will have Frank Marsilio, who will who will ask us questions. So we want to stimulate a discussion to see if there is some open issue in the experiment that needs to be addressed. And we asked him to represent this point of view. So he will actually open, in some sense, this experimental session. And something I didn't write here, but you can see in the program, we have actually 2 days where we have discussion, and the idea of the discussions is exactly this, that there are a few open problems in the field, and I think we should discuss them. On Thursday, we have, again, some talks about materials which are not hydrides. Here we have 2 talks about low Z materials, so low atomic numbers. Roxana is talking about lithium magnesium boron. I think James is mostly talking about beryllium. And then there are 2 unconventional talks. So Laura Farillo will talk about iron-based superconductors. And I think Wojciech Grokala, I mean, he has this nice idea of having some kind of analog of copper oxide, but with silver and fluorine. And there are also 2 talks about the theory of superconductivity. Hartley Gross will say how to go beyond the Migdal-Radiator approximation in some sense, and Akashi will also tell us a bit about developments in Eliashberg theory. Last day we have Rio Arita with Lanthanum H10. Then here we have again, sorry, I didn't say this. This is very important. Richard will introduce the topic of machine learning for superconductors, and we have 2 other talks which also use machine learning. So Alexei Kolmogorov and Stefan Gödecker. And then Renato will be closing the, the conference and tell us something about, again, ionic gating and in H-dope, the titanium diselenide. And I think they have this very nice technique where they can protonate materials, so they can sort of boost the TC of material by using hydrogen. Last 2 things, as I said, we have 2 round tables, and we have collected, like me and Gianni brainstormed a little bit yesterday about possible topics for discussion in theory and experiment. I'm not going to read all of them. If you have, you can read, so I will just leave it here for a few minutes. If you have other topics that you think it would be nice to discuss, you can tell me or Gianni or the chairman of the discussion, and I think we will have a nice opportunity to talk.